I know you miss me. Do you think about me? Do you? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you? Do you? So I go out, I look for a guy, I look for a girl, I look for a mind. I look for a guy, I look for a girl, I look for somebody who will build my hair. I look for someone dignified, someone good, someone kind. I wanna know what happened, why he came down here from heaven. Right? I see them from across the room, tall and shrouded in perfume. I see them from across the room, swallowed by a real belly Lugosi-esque, tall and thin, half dressed. Real belly Lugosi-esque, just the way I like them. I wanna know what happened, why he came down here from heaven. Heavy breathing, no I'm not leaving until he takes me to heaven's gates. I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. To heaven's gates, I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. But it's so hot in here, I just wanna walk through the city with you. We could look at the sky, commiserate over our life. Dark eyes and dance into the night. Dark eyes and dance. Dark eyes and dance into the night. Dark eyes and dance. So it goes round and round. Heart is tied up, gagged and bound. Yeah, gagged and bound. Baby, my heart's in a cage. Baby, get your eye. Choke, hold, stand up straight. Don't fold, and don't you fold. Baby, you gotta be bold. Baby, red lace, hypnotized. They've got glitter on their eyes. Falling off their falls, it's looking all the blizzard. Baby, sucks the silence out my lips. Strong hands around my hips. Oh, hands around my hips. No more silence on my lips. I wanna know what happened, why he came down here from heaven. Heavy breathing, no I'm not leaving until he takes me to heaven's gates. I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. To heaven's gates, I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. To heaven's gates, I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. To heaven's gates, I'm a good girl, you can't blame me for my mistakes. To heaven's gates.
Memes of the Week 16. I'm your host, Jason of Awake Souls. I'm joined by Ronnie Harris of the Limitless Channel. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm excited. We made it. Friday, finally, right?
Yes. It's a special hangout because we went back to work this week. And so while you're putting in 40 hours a week in construction, having to drive an hour to and from work, this is what you get. And I don't think it's that much lower. There's a few features that have been removed, but all in all, we're pretty much same level of content.
Yeah. The only thing that the meme roller that we usually have new every week, that's going to be, so we chose the best one of the first 15 weeks of the year. And it was meme roller in week number 12 that won. So when we go off camera, we're going to play that meme roller as we get into the memes. But Absolutely nothing else has changed. We come here to smash out the truth. We're actually breeding kings and queens here. That's what we do. Every day is just another page in a book of truth that we're bringing out. And that's what we love to do. I'm excited. Also talking about getting into the parables of like how you can, save up some kingdom coins. If we had the noise, I would say hit the button now and you hear the coin noise.
Yeah,
Timestamps.
There will be one of those coming up.
Timestamps. Fighting for the truth. Timestamps. Every time you do it. Every time you do something where you don't get a reward back, bing, 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 hit that button again, but you didn't upload it. We didn't have time. See, this is the few things that we won't have in the podcast tonight, but we've got all the memes. We've got the truth. I see everybody that's here. I don't know if you guys tuned in the morning. If you didn't, that's great. You're going to have a fresh new look at what we went through in this last week. It's nice that we're at this point. We're a third of the way through the year, right? And we can do some grading. We can sit down, each one of us, you on the other side of the screen too, look at what we have done. What have you done in the past 3 months or 4 months of the year, right? 2022. I got to tell you guys, I'm super excited. I'm so thankful. When I look at my stats, I'm like, all right, I did something, I feel satisfied with myself. And it's not like I'm going to stop. How do you feel, Jason? I know I can answer for what I marked you down for in the past 3 months, but why don't you tell me how you feel personally?
Yeah, so if this is a back to work special, that means that we weren't working. So people that follow along understand that we quit working right before the fall festivals, or right during the fall festivals of last year. And we spent the winter, all right, it's already pretty warm out already, so it's hard to call this winter, but we spent the winter, the first thing that happened was the fake flat earth split, where there was the division with RV and Jake the asshole, that
and Brian from High Impact Flicks was the fight, right?
That whole rift right there. And because we weren't working, we're able to jump right in and really like cover that, lay it bare, and it never went anywhere. Like that's just a dead mute issue once again. So there was a whole bunch of things that happened. I was able to get out the heliocentric and fake flat earth debunk video, and I was able to get out the stereographic virtual reality video as well. So that, along with working along with you with memes of the week and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, that's where a lot of my time went this winter. Now, so we're back into tools on, sweating Texas summer, building stuff, and we'll just keep doing this routine until the end of this wicked system happens. Like, we don't have a problem with putting the tools on, going to work, and because we are skilled tradesmen, and people do need things fixed, they need things rebuilt all the time. It happens. Our work's always going to be in need. So anybody that ever needs a good carpenter, a good builder, a good remodeler, that kind of stuff, our value is going up like crazy. So we really, because we live so efficiently, like we don't live extravagantly whatsoever. We've had guests. Seth came and visited us. He saw how we live. Because of this, we really only need to work about 2 months out of the year. So we're not here to store up riches in this world. And we don't feel that, well, we know that there's the time coming where anything that a person has stored up, if you want to be able to have access to that money and feel like it's yours, you're going to have the MOB, right? It's going to be required, and we're not going to take it. So we understand that the value of the currency that we're using right now is going to become zero. It'll be worthless. So there's really 0 point of storing it up. We just keep enough in the buffer zone to be able to operate from year to year, and we'll do that until the end comes. And so here we are. We're back in the work zone. And so the summer we won't be able to do the same kinds of stuff that we did during the winter, but we're still really hoping that we don't have to work through this summer, not because we're afraid of the work, but because we want the end of this system of things. So we're looking for the Great Tribulation to begin, and there's going to be a whole bunch of information that we're going to be going through, not tonight so much, this will probably be Sunday night's content, but regarding Second Passover, which isn't that far off. And so that wasn't fulfilled yet, right? Remember, Ronnie,
I remember.
What was fulfilled when Christ was here?
First Passover.
First Passover.
First Passover.
So what about his second? How about the return? Wouldn't it be great for a fulfillment on second Passover on a blood moon?
It's interesting how that's all lining up, right? So
it really is.
We're going to be keeping our eyes on it, as well as blessed is he that keeps the 1335, starting in October 2018. There's so much. We'll have to talk about that on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday.
But yeah, we're just giving you a buffer, or primer, whatever you want to call it, that there is some definite things parabolically happening prophetic-wise, and we're not going to take our eyes off that either. But yeah, it's going to be a great summer, whether we get the Great Tribulation going or we just keep fighting for truth and freedom. Either way, we are here. We are thankful, and we are super ready to do this. I don't know if I have too much more to say. Just thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I hope we can put out some truth tonight, get some timestamps, some kingdom coins. Basically what we want to do is just plant some trees, right? We're just little baby trees. We're not going to see them grow up and get shade under them, but we're going to plant them anyways tonight. Y'all can help us dig the holes. Let's go.
Scattered to the siege. You want to go straight to memes intro?
No.
Nope.
You're going to play the memes of the week, number 12, which won best meme roller of the year so far, the first third, and then the next third we'll pick another one, and then the three of them we'll find out which one was the best. Hopefully this New Year's I won't be like unable to move in bed, Jason podcasting by himself. Thank you for that, bro. But yeah, we're gonna go into that, and then we'll, you know what I mean, we'll do the transition over to the editor. But yeah, let's get into this, guys. Turn it up, light them up if you got them. Let's go. CBD oil under the tongue, whatever, gummy bears, whatever you're going to eat it now.
Let's go.
And now, the wait is over. It's time for Memes of the Week. Sponsored by Aluminum Foil.
Sons of our actual Rothschild gave an astonishing uninhibited description of the 19th century Rothschild policy of keeping it in the family.
Yourselves in those senses, you know, position ourselves just in the center. Try to elevate the debate.
Thank you so much.
You're looking at now.
We're breaking the conditioning! We're coming for you, globalists! Coming for you! I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the coco. I got it for the Lolo. I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the
Breathe love into the trees. First to stand alone. The night is warm, the night is gone. She keeps on dancing on the wall. From lost to love, I can't get from lost to
sorry. I think I cut it early. Sorry, brother. Wasn't paying attention.
It's fine. We're over it, bro. It's fine. Yeah, you're supposed to go to the thumbnail and then give me screen share.
Yeah, I'm at thumbnail.
It's all good, bro. Everyone can watch it on my own channel, and when we did it last time, it's good. So yeah, that was great, right? What a good tune. I put the link. By the way, all the links are in the chat for the songs. The intro one, every one of them, they're gonna have all of them there for you. So that's what we want to do. And we don't have as much time to make the chapters and everything like the way we were doing it before. Unfortunately, you gotta just do it like that. But you can still get to the song by looking in the chat, right? Because we don't just want to steal the music. We want to promote it, right? Drive people to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you're presented. Okay,
that's great news. So this here says the Ministry of Truth Starter Pack. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, we were some of the earliest to talk about this Ministry of Truth. And yeah, so the guy with what is that underneath his nose? That's terrible. And then the next guy, I'm not a fan of mustaches whatsoever. What is that, Stalin or something? And then
yeah.
And then Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ministries of Truth. That's a problem, everybody, when they start regulating what is true and what's not true.
These three people all had one. Right? Do the math. This one here says only one is innocent, Jason. You're going to have to look carefully at this one and go through the characters on the screen. If you start at this is
top row, third over.
Ain't no bat cause no survey some bug.
Don't be blaming it. Although the Viper might
Cobra King coming in, huh? Yeah,
he might be guilty.
That crown
might be guilty.
Bringing up that crown talk. King Cobra, huh? This one's nice. It says words are like keys. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth. Jason?
Words like keys. Yeah. That's a deep thought right there, because it's really just through our communication. So you've got body language and you've got your words. And so you're either going to unlock things in people or you're going to shut them up. So it's important to choose how you use your words with everyone all the time.
Yeah, sometimes you can be like, shh, don't say anything. You can make someone be quiet like that. Sometimes you can just simply speak truth and shut their mouth. There's multiple ways, but excuse me, I put way too much cream in my coffee. I'm at the high life, guys. It's not the rise and grind. Parabolic keys is one of the biggest things that Jason and I have been talking about for the past 5 years, and me for like 10. So the parabolic keys, the pictographic language, like emojis, the way that the characters used to be in the original language, right way, the way it needs to go back, right? That's how they become parabolic keys, literally. That's my interjection. What you good on that one? Should I move on to the next one?
Yeah, I commented on it. And I saw a cool short recently where there were two keys that looked just like that, that were locked together, and they were a puzzle as far as how you get the two apart. And like keys are parabolic. They're in the scriptures like crazy, right?
Yes. Keys, they can lock. So words are the key. Key to the words. We're in a voice spoken realm. This next one says the strongest weapon in the world is what? Lies? No, it says truth, because truth is what? Indestructible. Jason, what say you on this? We talked about this today.
Well, I love the word indestructible. That's a powerful word right there, right? Something that's indestructible, cannot be destroyed. So truth has a reality to it. It exists. It's existential. It's absolute. These are all things that most people hate to hear. There's so many people that you talk about absolutes and they get triggered. Everything's relative. Oh no, the truth is absolute. So here's one of the problems I run into with a bunch of people is they say, well, that's your truth. All right. So, or that's what you believe. So here's the problem. There is a fundamental truth. Always. There's an absolute. There is a yes or no answer to everything. And so the people that are afraid to look at those yes and no answers are the ones that have the problem. So a person can be wrong and then they can be corrected, but there is a fundamental truth that exists, right? So this whole idea that that's your truth is nonsense when you're talking about fundamental truths. And yeah, it's such a strong sword. You can literally go up against anybody in the world. If you're standing on something that's true, somebody else is standing on something that's not true, and especially if you understand why and the whole reason they concocted their answer, if you understand all that, you overstand them, and you can't be defeated. It's impossible.
You slay them.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely... It's a bloodbath. I keep continuing to say it. The truth is the roaring lion, seeking whom it may devour endlessly, right? You can't defeat the truth, right? And yes, one of the hardest things for people to understand is there is an absolute on everything, right? But to get to some of those absolute answers, we literally need to speak to the creator himself, right? We can't answer any whys. Right? We can't. We don't know. But yes, and Jason and I will be corrected. Listexic, I love your footage, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, I haven't watched that, but I've already heard enough people's responses. Yeah, Jay, they got that new Flat Earth documentary, ODD and David Weiss and the Hibbler dude did.
No, I know. I saw it come up. I haven't bothered to take the time to watch it yet. I can't imagine it's any better or any worse than the last one. It's probably just going to be more of the same. But yeah, great to see you, Listexic. I
love your footage, bro.
I check out your stuff, and I can't always understand it because of the translation issue, but the stuff that I see where I know that you're promoting that we're in a simulation is fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent work. Huge shout out. That's something else I just want to take a moment here. Just give thanks to everybody on this team. There's so many people that are on my team that are nameless, faceless. You don't even know who they are. They're in the shadows. They're the light within the shadow is really what they are. And I'm super humbled today. I'm so thankful, you guys. I've seen actual miracles in my life. This week, I've seen miracles, you guys. I've literally seen supernatural things taking place. So, I can't stop but say how thankful I am to everybody on the team, including you, Listexic. Some of your videos have been amazing and pivotal in the things that we've shared. We've referenced you many times, and the people that share the memes, all the content we've been creating, all the artwork, all the music, it's just this huge collective group, and there's people that aren't named here, but they're in the content, right? They are literally coded into it. And I just give thanks tonight, just that I'm a part of this team. I'm so thankful. I'm humble. I got to tell you guys, these last 15 weeks have been amazing. How could I not be so thankful right now? Like I said, you guys, every single day before I go to sleep, I grade myself. I say, what did I do today? And it's funny because when I was younger, excuse me, I had hyperactive problems, and my focus wasn't very well in the school department. So I would get in trouble. I would have to do a checklist every day at school. And I hated it. It was like torture to me because, I would have moments where I would, crack off, make a joke. I don't know, just get in trouble. And so it would be a bad night. But now I actually do that to myself. So it's become, I flip the tables on stuff that I went through. And not only that too, sometimes I'll let you guys know a little secret. Okay, Ronnie, that's it. Like I started freaking out or acting funny too much. They would say, you got to go to the timeout room. The timeout room was filled with memes, like cats hanging on, like, don't give up. It's like, so I literally was like mind controlled subliminally through the public schooling that I went through for what we do now, Jason. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. The whole meme world of the timeout room that you got sent to, right?
Yeah. I went to a couple psychiatrists too. I had the problem with one of my public school teachers, which ended up being he was the problem, but we're not going to get into that. But I mean, the psychiatrist had the same. They'd have like, and what do you call those? We used to read them more back in the day. I don't think the youth read them at all. They were like comics, but not comics. Oh, what's the name of it? Oh. The Charlie Hebdo shooting was like a group of people that do them still. I know there used to be comics in like the newspaper, but there was like books that you could get that would have these like cartoon skits. They were memes, really. The meme thing is not new. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, I let's see, my teacher's story comes from a science teacher who was teaching evolution. And remember, I grew up Jehovah's Witness and believed in creation. And so I would go at it. You know, people, I wasn't like I am now, right? But even in the early science classes, as that would be sophomore year, I was already totally challenging the teacher on everything that he was teaching and trying to make him back it up. And he threw me out of his class. He refused to be my teacher, so I had to take different science courses.
I absolutely believe that. 100%, brother. I absolutely do. Yeah, that teacher that did that to me, though, he got fired. Or he had to silently retire or whatever. But so this meme thing is nothing new. You know, I don't know the name of what they used to be, but we used to get books. People would read them. They were like cartoon skits. But let's get back into this. Okay, if there was a bunch of Samoans up here, let's go with something else. Eskimos. These were all Eskimos here, and we've seen the Eskimos in all the different presidencies. And it's interesting, these Eskimos have larger hats than the tiny ones. So I'm worried. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Why do they got bigger hats than the tiny hats? You know, it just continues. Bush Jr., Bush Sr., every president. These guys all come in and make them sign a bunch of stuff on the table, including the Noahide laws where we're talking about this is your actual communism coming in. Got Obama. This is going to be a theme throughout tonight. These guys are Eskimos. And, you know, if you went somewhere and all the Eskimos owned everything, and every time you needed something, you had to go see an Eskimo, wouldn't you want to talk about, hey, why are there only Eskimos here? You know, here's Trump too, guys. Don't be fooled. He's no savior. He's not coming to rescue you. He's doing his job for these larger tiny hat guys.
There's a good chance that Trump is God. God.
God right? Real?
Yes.
Azazel? Yeah. Let's go. But don't get me going. I don't think there's anything we really have to say more about that. If you want to comment on this, like, you know, these are Eskimos, right? They're just Eskimos everywhere. They own everything, bro. What's up?
Oh, man. You know, the first time I ever saw those was when I was out in New York. So I was out there for 2 years, and there was a huge community of them in Brooklyn, and I was baffled by them, and I still am. But
we had lots where I grew up, bro. We had lots. I built a lot of buildings for these guys.
Somehow the guys that wear those hats are in control of everything.
I built the pool at their golf club. I did a bunch of work at the golf club. You know, the hospitals they own in Toronto. So again, there's not all one group of people is bad. The fallen angel used every race, every color. We are all descendants of Adam and Eve. We're all brothers and sisters. If you're saying you're white or you're black, you're absolutely in a psyop. You're human, right? You're not a color of your skin. That's retarded. But yes, we're going to continue to refer to these people as the Eskimos as we move forward. And the Eskimos under these Eskimos should be calling them out and actually helping make everything just. But let's just keep going. What do you think of this one? Oh, I got to go small screen. Boom. So we all make mistakes. See, bro? It's all good. Look at this. This your minister of truth?
Yes, minister. There's, as with all these characters that come out these days, there's always good reason for inspection as to what they were born, right? What were they born? Great question. So holding up the book 1984 with the one eye, it's metal, like, you know, she might as well just be throwing up the devil horns and showing off the tattoos.
666.
Yeah. Like,
over her one eye, right?
What more do you need to see these days?
Well, drinking blood.
Yes, absolutely. With Marina Abramovich in the background.
I'll tell you, bro.
At Epstein's Island.
You know what? I respect them more when they come out and just tell us. All right, so be it. That's what you want to be it. That's what the scriptures say. Do what you want to do and do it, right? Make your choice. So here she is holding the book, 1984, but all the Orwellian takeover of society and the fake propaganda. So she's the disinformation agent now. So whenever they come in and say that something is disinformation, it's absolute truth. It's the easiest way to tell what's true, whatever they censor. Let's move on. Next meme. This one's interesting, bro. The spirit of Yahawah. You ready for this one? I think you heard this one. So the breath is the spirit of Yahawah, right? But since we can't see it, taste it, or touch it, we move through it like it doesn't exist. Just as fish are unaware that they are breathing and swimming through an ocean of water. Most of us are unaware that we are breathing and navigating through an ocean of, quote, spirit, end quote. The Holy Spirit is etched within the breath. It is the source that animates our personalities and emotions. At birth, it enters in with our first inhale and leaves at death with your last exhale. The origin of the word, quote, spirit, end quote, derives from the Latin word spirare. How am I saying that wrong? Spirare? Spirare? How would you say it?
Spirare?
Spirare, meaning breath. Therefore, it is a fact that the, quote, breath, end quote, spirit, end quote, are synonymous. This is absolutely true. Even in Genesis 2:7, it says Yahawah breathes life into the nostrils of man, right? Just as Gabriel breathed life into Mary, which created Yahawahashai, right? What do you think of this one?
Yeah, it's great. Spirit and breath. So think about trying to come up with a word for spirit back in the early days, right? How would you refer to spirit? So the thing about the breath is that it's invisible, right? You can't, well, except if it's really cold out, but, right?
Catch, bro. Wow, ding.
So it's like the wind. It's got this invisible quality to it, but the breath actually carries. So when we speak, when we use our voice, it comes through our breath, and so there's a vibration to it, right? So the this meme here sort of shows the transcendence between spirit and breath, and how, like the fish, right, we don't really understand what it is that we're breathing. It could, what we're inhaling could be like water is to fish.
True.
Right? But I look at things more like we're in a virtual reality, and and that there's a meter on the side that tells the amount of this and that and everything that's present in the air all the time. So, but still, even as we inhale and exhale, this is part of the process of life, right? The spirit of life exists as long as there's the breath. So there's an absolute reality to how the breath is connected to spirit. So as we're inhaling and exhaling, we are connected to everything around us all the time, right?
Yeah, it's super deep. It's super, super, super deep. Why am I getting the echo? So, yes, no one knows where the wind blows, right? Or which way it came from, but you surely feel it as it passes across your face. So too is the Holy Spirit, like the breath. It's the same thing, you guys. Okay. It's very important that you understand how the breath, so the word, right, is what came forth first. The word of the Father came forth, right? That's a sound. It was a breath that he spoke. Right? That's how everything was created. So if we need to know what the super deep spiritualist, and interestingly enough, who do you think made this meme, Jason? Do you think this was a Baptist?
Well, it wasn't made by Team Yahawahashai, because
I didn't make it,
because we don't use the word God, but it looks like it probably came from a New Ager, right?
Yeah, you could say that, but I'll tell you what, the person that wrote this down, in my books, I could stand beside that person and say, you held a deep truth within the scriptures. And I've never heard pastor in my entire life ever even utter even anything close to this. Beautiful meme. I will stand with this. I love it. Let's keep going. We'll get into the first music break soon. Let's do a few more. This one says, when you recognize, Jason, you want to pay attention. I know you're going to like this one. When you recognize that there is a voice in your head that pretends to be you and never stops speaking, you are awakening out of your unconscious identification with your stream of thinking. When you notice that voice, you realize that you are who you are is not that voice, the thinker you are, but the one who is aware of the voice. So this is a very deep scripture teaching, not scripture, because unabated thoughts come in all the time, right? Your mind is constantly on. That's why people practice meditating. Sometimes just doing it for 5 minutes a day, trying not to think, is what we do. But the third person observer and everything that we've been talking about, Jason, why don't you weigh in on this one?
Let's see. Mentioned a number of times the first time I went to meditate. The first time I tried it, I could not believe how there was this endless barrage of voice in my head. As soon as I tried to be silent, it was nonstop. I heard it more, and it seemed to be more. Like I couldn't even believe how much I was hearing the more I was trying to hear nothing. And it was shocking to me. I was taken back by it. But through practice, it got under control. So as you get control of your mind and start isolating which thoughts came from you and which thoughts just came into mind, like all of a sudden they pop into mind. You can tell I wasn't trying to think of this. If you know what you're thinking about and you're thinking you want to go sailing, right? All of a sudden to have some crazy other non-related thought come into your head, you're like, well, that didn't come from me. Where did that come from, right? So now all of a sudden you start paying attention to each thought as it arises and identifying which ones came from you and which ones didn't. Yeah. And the longer you do that process, the less you hear those other voices. And all of a sudden,
I fight mine, bro.
You'll eventually get to a point where they don't exist. Right?
No,
so
yeah.
Only the bidden thought will exist. So
yeah, I literally tell myself, not right now. How? No, you don't. I'll tell the thought, absolutely not. Get out of my head right now, because sometimes things come in that are just crazy. Depending on if you're empathic or what your level of consciousness is, or how you were tuned with the realm, how you're connected to what I call morphogenetic fields, right? Shout out to Rupert Sheldrake. So depending on your level of tapped into it, I can pick up crazy stuff, but you know what? I have learned how to develop to channel it out. And, especially having ear problems, that really helps. When you can't really hear it all, everything is just inside your mind. And then you really have time to practice. You want to talk about meditating, right? Have you ever spent time just with your sounds of your own breath, and you can hear your own heartbeat, right? Let's go on a couple more. We're just having just a fun night tonight, talking a little bit of personal stuff, because we want to be vulnerable and just natural too. That's part of the reason why we do this. It says here, everybody on the other side of the screen, this is for you. You were absolutely chosen for this generation. Be fearless, right? Let's go. Stand up, rise. Jason, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think if you're anything less than let's say, well, if 80 is a strong person, so if you're anything less than 73, it was probably all premeditated that you would be here during this time, because everything is pointing to the Great Tribulation beginning this year still, right? So that means that if you're gonna get in 7 years before 80, your birth date was probably premeditated to be that generation that saw these times. All right, we're talking 2,000 years from Christ, and being in a virtual stereographic reality, we keep telling people the scriptures support reincarnation. They really do. That means being reborn again in this world. So many times we heard being reborn in the scriptures, but we never really took it to a literal interpretation, because we didn't understand that we're in a virtual stereographic reality. So this
Right?
this generation, it's a special one, especially if you're in the anywhere from the, well, actually, let's take it to another level. There's certain generations, the Generation X. We've got Trump being the messiah of the boomers, and we have Elon Musk being the messiah of the millennials, but there's no messiah for the Gen Xers. So, right? So
yeah, no problem. We figured they'd skip it. Why not, right? They can't choose our...
The Gen Xers, that's a unique generation, and both Ronnie and I fall into that. So I feel like our age, so the vitality, the strength that we have to do what we're doing right now, I feel like all of that was planned, right? Because if we were too old or too young during this time period, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now.
It's all calculated. Not by chance.
Not by chance.
No coincidences, huh? Because we serve a Yahawah, the creator of existence, and he doesn't believe in coincidences. Look at this one here. Let's just get through this one. A couple quick ones. It says, anyone can test positive for particularly anything with the PCR test. If you run it long enough, it says, with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything and anybody. It doesn't tell you that you are sick. Says who? The creator of the PCR test. I can't stay too long on this one, bro. But right?
Yeah, we covered that a bunch.
Yet because we tell you the truth, most people in this realm do not believe us. Right? Paraphrasing from John 8:45. This next one says, if your voice held no power, I'm speaking specifically to the people that I know that are constantly being censored. If your voice, not that I don't love everybody that isn't fighting for the truth like that. I do. You guys are great. But the people that get censored for fighting the truth, my heart. It says here, if your voice held no power, they would not or wouldn't try to silence you. They wouldn't silence you. If you were weak, if you were leading Azazel's army, if you were helping the wickedness of this realm, you wouldn't be censored. So this meme right here is super special to me. This goes out to everybody. Even you, Jay, you've been censored a lot, bro. You've been abused a lot in the censorship realm. And I'm humble, thankful. You've always paved the way. We've always had a steady path. We never let it ever affect us. And, thank you, brother. And thank you to my mom, obviously, for helping me be calm too. But everybody on the other side of the screen, thank you for fighting through censorship. What do you say about this one?
Yeah, voice, power. That's really all we get to do in this world is say our piece. We can speak it. We can write it. You can use your body to try to back it up, but it's your voice, your position, so use it wisely. The scriptures tell us that's, it's not the things that you put into your mouth that defile you. It's the things that come out. Well, the reciprocal for positive things as well. The blessings that are going to be given, the kingdom coins, right? That people are going to be accumulated are all based on your voice.
So we're talking about how everybody's constantly taking the negative on the hypothetical that you're discussing here, right? Instead of always talking about, don't you speak bad words. Jason's saying, what happens when you speak good things? You get positive returns, right? Riches, he's saying. Supernatural, eternal riches that you just can't see because what created us, you can't see either. That's where all the riches hath been forever. And it's amazing. This place can open up and show you. You could literally, since we read the book of Nephi and I found out how that compass worked by righteousness, you guys better believe that every time I have an opportunity arise, I'm thinking, how do I do this righteously? I want that compass to work for me. That was about manifesting. That book is crazy, brother. Let me keep going before I get too deep. Let's get into this one. This one goes along with your PSYOPs, your CIA, FBI, all your internal psyops. It says an FBI internal memo from 1968 mentions the employment of the Grateful Dead as an avenue to channel youth dissent and rebellion into more, and it began in non-threatening direction. So the
more
youth,
benign.
sorry. Yeah, I thought it said began. Benign. and non-threatening. So they were actually fighting back, right? And it was the Doors was another one too, Jim Morrison, but the Grateful Dead, they, you know, so what they do, and I'm bringing this up because it's poignant, because this is what Joe Rogan and many other people are doing now, Chris and Sherry Geo, and many people in the other communities, they're all getting high on drugs. You're all being led to the slaughter, right? You got to be pure and sober, right, to really connect with the truth. You don't need to be high on anything. That's the antithesis to being what we get. But they did it through music. It says they performed a vital service in distracting many young persons into drugs and mysticism, rather than what they were doing is making a difference. They call it politics, but it was like protesting, and they were doing it right. So the same strategies employed today. It says what we have is an ongoing secret war by central bankers, those guys that we showed you in the White House, against who? All of us, society, right? A drumbeat of a psychological torture designed to keep society off balance and zoned out, Jay.
Yeah, well, we've seen that the music industry is basically just straight up witchcraft. It's a performance that the music is designed with satanic lyrics. The way the music is performed is they try to do everything as satanic as they can. Symbology everywhere. It's occultic, it's mysticism, it's Satanism across the board. And that's the reason why you've put such a hard focus into putting forth some decent music that isn't just New World Order artists that are, sold their soul. We try to find new breaking independents that don't have the big record contract, because we see what happens, what goes with that contract. So to get the big contract, you have to sell your soul, and then from that point forward, they tell you what you're going to be putting out. So
You're owned.
yeah,
You signed it, the blood dotted line, or whatever you want to say. Let's get in a few more. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should take the screen share, and I'll introduce the next song. This first interlude break, we're gonna go back to some 1979 Time Cop, and Josh Daly with we got a synth wave roller, so it's like an 80s throwback. It should be good. I'm looking forward to this song. Jason's gonna take us away to it.
let's go.
There's nobody on the streets tonight. There's nobody in their cars. I'm watching the sun go down from the Broadway bars. Empty love and empty streets is all I'm seeing around. Just the glow of the neon lights and a dull distant sound. Take me back, I wanna go right back to that town where I'm never down. Take me back, I wanna go driving fast down country roads. Where did all that time go? Hell, I guess that we'll never know. So come on tonight, take me back. I'll never forget those years. It still feels like a dream. Getting high in your parents' car, looking out at the stars. I know that lately things have been tough. We don't talk enough, but there's still one chance for us, and I'm gonna make it work. Take me back, I wanna go right back to that town where I'm never down. Take me back, I wanna go to driving fast down country roads.
Take me back, eh?
Yes, Take Me Back by Josh Daly and Time Cap 1983. I definitely should have known that one. Dropped the ball there, but we made it up. What a great new track, guys. Brand new. Again, we came live tonight. We went live so that we could share that new music too. It's not just about this truth thing. This one here says, never worry about who will be offended if you speak the truth. Worry about who will be misled, deceived, and destroyed if you don't. I know, Jason, this one you agree with, I bet.
Oh, yeah, across the board. I'm never worried about who I offend with the truth because, if you know you're standing with it, there's nothing that they can say that means anything. Like, it all becomes nonsense. You know that what they are standing on is false. You know that they can you can debunk them. And you don't have to worry about offending anybody if you have the truth. In fact, you know that if you're speaking the truth, you are going to offend people. And we do worry about those that are misled, those that will be destroyed if you don't say something. That's what inspires us to do as much as we can of sharing the truth. It's the whole Ezekiel 33 thing. It tells very plainly there that if you know these truths and you're not sharing them, you're going to be destroyed. And the people that you didn't warn and protect, their blood,
on you.
Their blood will be on you. So
isn't it in Spider-Man, with great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's true.
Yeah.
Whether it be a cop, a fireman, whatever, a judge, a drywaller, anyone who has responsibility or power, responsibility. So yeah, you don't actually ever care. You'll speak the truth. I've seen you. You live streamed. You spoke the truth. You knew it was going to make everybody uncomfortable, but it was the truth. So you spoke it out. So I can testify this one. We talked earlier, Jason. Remember, I said, know your enemy. I told you there's a meme for you here.
Yeah, look at that first one. United.
Look at all of them.
Yeah, United Nations. Well, it's got the fake flat Earth logo on it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you can pay
What's this,
Dirty
recycling?
Dirt for that. Yeah, that is recycling.
Way to go, Jaron. Thanks, Jerry Boy and Dirty Dirt. Yeah, recycling, right? Like they take our food and stuff and then make more stuff and sell it back to us. Right? You got this, right? We all know what that is.
$1 bill.
Yeah. It's, they're Latin stuff. We don't need to give it too much credit. 322, good old Scully and Bonesy. You got the good old Freemasons, the Federal Reserve, Jay. Or isn't it Seth that always talks about, that was just off the shoreline where I live, blah, blah, blah. They had that island where they created this nonsense.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
Jekyll Island, is it?
It might be. Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
It's
what about this one?
Yeah, the Jesuits.
Jesuits.
The creators of the name Jesus, right?
Yeah. Society of Jesus. Isaac Newton, right? No, he was Jehovah. I know. I always make you laugh when I pronounce it with the R. I don't know why it always gets you. It says here, the Club of Rome. This one looks more like Jerry's map, right? Here we got Dirty Dave.
Is
Dirty
that
Dave
Jerry's map?
This is Jaronism's map rotated a little bit.
Club of Rome. Makes
Club of
perfect
Rome.
sense.
And Jaron is a descendant of someone in the Vatican. Campanella. You can search it up in the Vatican and find it yourself. But I don't have time. I got nothing but love for Jaron. Keep fighting for what you believe in, bro. Do it more. Lucius Trust. We all know about this. Right? Jared Kushner is involved with this, is he not? But we could get into these things. Then what do we got here? The Knights of Malta?
Templars, I think.
Templar, thank you. Sorry, everybody. Too many secret societies on the mind. The Bilderberg Group. Didn't you get some huge data today? Why don't you quickly let everybody know what you got?
Oh, yeah. Through a tweet, I found somebody has a list of 3,800 names of the last 20 years of graduates from the World Economic Forum. So
The WC, huh?
Yeah.
Or how was it? Yeah.
All their names, the years they graduated,
Yeah.
the positions of the companies that they're at right now, or politician or academic or whatever it is. There's a spreadsheet for 3,800 of the last 20 years of graduates from the WEF. So I'm excited to go through that, and who knows? I mean, if we're given power, that'd be a great list to work off of, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, that's gonna come in handy. Let's keep going here. This one says, Jason, did you know if 1 out of every 100 people decided on planting a bee-friendly flower garden, it would be a colossal boost to all populations of various key pollinators, including honeybees, hummingbirds, butterflies, moths, and more, vastly benefiting ecosystems worldwide. Just planting some flowers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
you think about the virtual reality aspect. So the person that goes around and plants the flowers, all of a sudden the bee just comes out of nowhere to pollinate it, right? So the more flowers you got, the more bees you got, the more honey you got.
Yes, right. And then all across the board, everything eats this thing, and it all works. It's called symbiotic relationships. It's true. The earth, this realm is all symbiotic, right down to the actual heartbeat of the realm. We're not going to get too deep into that. This one here is really special to me. This is a shout out to everybody that's not with us in the body, but still in our heart. This one says, a dragonfly to remind me, even though we are apart, your spirit is always with me, forever in my heart. And I've always ... 4 dots on this one. I have been very lucky to always feel the presence of the spirits of all the people that I've loved in my heart constantly. They're always with me. Jason, what do you think of this meme?
Yeah, the dragonfly is interesting. It's a big old bug, but if you're hanging out on the lake and floating in a tube or whatever, sitting on the dock, and a dragonfly comes up and lands on you, the reaction isn't to go attack it and try to get rid of it like it's a horsefly or something.
No.
And it just sits there and chills out, and it's it's a miraculous creature to watch. It's got those double wings, and it can hover like a hummingbird. And
but the meme,
yeah, it's the
you believe in it,
dragonfly.
right?
The dragonfly is
It's
to remind me, and then it's got the rhyme. Even though we're apart, forever in my heart.
Poetic, but it's actually true, right? It's actually true. If you search inside your own soul and heart, you will find the people that you've always loved. They'll always be there. They're a part of you. It's imprinted in your spirit. And dragonflies, I am absolutely one with them, right? So wherever I go, mosquitoes and stuff used to just love to suck my blood. In the kingdom, I hope that there is nothing is going to suck our blood anymore. Thankfully, that'll be over. But the dragonflies just like, they come right around me. It's like it's on because they feast on the mosquitoes, right? So everything has a symbiotic relationship, just like we used to have fire ants here. Everybody, definitely in Kanakastani up there, everybody, all you guys have no idea. Like the ants up where we got, some of them, like my cottage in Bancroft, had some big ants. They're like an inch. They were big, right? But they didn't bite. But these ones down here, they're little, but they are vicious. They take chunks out of your feet. You're scarred. And they'll like you run to the hose to wash them off. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry about that, but we've got chickens here, and the chickens just smash. They just love to eat those ants. So it's like, how great is the creator? He's like, all right, I'm going to troll you guys. Okay. There's going to be thistles and thorns and things that are going to bite and sting. But he's like, here, if you do this little bit of work, you take care of these here chickens, they'll eat all the bugs and everything on your property. Right? Like, how beautiful is that?
Yeah, and if you don't have a lawnmower, here's a goat. You can have this thing.
Yes.
And,
cream and milk.
It'll mow the lawn for you, and it'll give you milk and cream. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got it. If you have like a electric fence, they've got them that are like really a lot of feet. Remember, the neighbor is like thousands of feet. You move it, like move it 100 feet over if you have enough acreage to graze. It's great. They're crazy though. Goats. Oh man. If you don't have an electric fence, they'll get their head stuck in the gate. They do anything. They ate our trees. We had this huge banana tree. They ate it. It came back though. They're nuts. They'll eat all the everything you have on your property. The goats will just come and they eat it. They'll jump up on your car, plop, 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 look at you like, what? Like, they're bad. Goats are really bad. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because dragonflies I always found to be really like a protector type of an insect, because they don't bite or sting us, but they eat everything that does. This one says, each time you are moved to uplift the lives of other beings, it says here, a community of wise beings showers you with their light. What do you think? Oh, silence.
Excuse me.
You want me to? You're coughing. You want me to talk? So, I believe in this wholeheartedly, right? I believe there are myriads upon myriads of heavenly body of beings that are absolutely watching. And when you do something good, when you uplift somebody, when you love somebody or build them up, or even discipline somebody that ends up helping them in the long run, you are absolutely showered on by stuff that you can't see. That's absolutely true to me.
Yeah, it's that act of kindness. It's measurable. So that would give something for the community of wise beings to work with. So just by being benevolent, trying to be helpful and kind and courteous, and each little thing, it could be letting the person in that's trying to pull into traffic. It can be holding the door somewhere. It can be a whole bunch of things. But each one of those times that you're moved to uplift somebody else, have a great day, hope you're, all these types of things, that opens the door for you to be showered with the light of these wise beings, right?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. They're waiting. They're like, come on, do something good, people. Could you imagine? The sun and the moon and all the stars are witnesses, and the clouds. You guys do understand they watch the earth. They have a job too. Let's keep going here. It says, if a monkey hoarded more bananas than it could eat, while most of the other monkeys starved, scientists would study that monkey to figure out what the heck was wrong with it. When humans do it, we put them on the cover of Forbes. I think we might have lost Jason. So yeah, that's self-explanatory, I guess.
Oh yeah, I was just in the chat. I thought you were talking about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I guess it's self-explanatory, right? This is what we got wrong here. Humans are observing animals, and they would wonder, why is this monkey allowed to have all these bananas when all these other ones are dying? No, we're going to celebrate him, right? He's all about getting that carbon down to zero, right? This one says truth. This one says science. This one says president or king. Yeah. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's keep going here. This one says the Jezebel spirit. Jezebel was a prophetess of Baal. Her name is Phoenician for the unhusbanded. Even if married, she is the boss. Her spirit is rebellious, self-loving, and devoid of empathy. Jezebel loves what Yahawah hates and hates what Yahawah loves. Her spirit seeks to use, manipulate, and destroy lives. Be able to discern and pray against this demonic spirit. This is an old one brought back up, because sometimes this spirit is rampant. Are you in the chat still, Jason? Or
No,
are you
I'm
looking
here.
at this one? You okay?
Yeah, the Jezebel spirit is one that we've talked about. I think we even did a hangout specifically about the Jezebel spirit. And it's funny, we had, what's her name?
Who? Rosette?
Rosette.
No. Oh, no.
Give the presentation about the Jezebel spirit, right? And so it is alive and active. It's in many people. It's not just women. The Jezebel spirit can be in men as well.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I believe you. I think it resides in both women and men.
Yes,
It's
but
crazy.
it is an arch nemesis of the, what was, like, remember when Jezebel was arch nemesis of Elijah, right? So it's
True.
it's a strong spirit, it's a powerful spirit, and then in the Christian congregations, the Jezebel spirit was talked about, right? There was addressed that it's conniving. It will use everything that it can to seduce, to distract, to bring to an end anybody that's righteous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful spirit, and it needs to be identified if you're going to have a chance of making it.
True. And it's easy to identify because the people you have in your life, all you have to do is grade the way you were yourself since you met that person. And if you see your life getting better, that's anti-Jezebel. If you see things getting worse, that's the Jezebel spirit, because it's tricky. You know, everybody always wants to investigate everything. Everyone is so cautious nowadays after everything we've been through. You know, I can understand why. But yes, the Jezebel spirit, you can measure in what it does to you. You had this one friend, I remember you telling me, like, had this problem with a car. And then, like, didn't he, like, all this crazy stuff went on. We were just like, why would he do that? He, like, paid off all our debt, or, like, I just don't understand how people can't, like, judge, like, okay, if this person, if they're not right for you, or, you know, this Jezebel spirit can come in many ways. It's a very deep topic, but I'm glad you brought up Elijah. You can research in the scriptures. You just type in a search bar Jezebel, and you'll get the scriptures that Jezebel is in. You'll see what she did. So let's keep going here. We got a lot. It says, when you find someone who's completely in love with you, hold on to them unless they get one of them restraining orders, right? Which does happen between people that do love each other, right? What do you think of this one? It's funny, right? I was just supposed to be funny.
Yeah, no, when you've got somebody that is completely in love with you.
What?
Well, let's just
you're
move
gonna
on.
disagree.
Let's just move on.
You wanted to throw a wrench in it.
Let's just move on.
Why we cannot see Yahawah. It says here, why we cannot see Yahawah. When a child is resting in his mother's womb, he cannot see his mother and cannot cry for his mother to come. They are both present, but cannot see each other. We are all in the womb of that limitless truth, infinite truth. What do you think of this one?
No,
If you're there.
no, I'm here. I'm just thinking about it.
It's pretty deep, right?
Yeah.
Again,
So,
with the New Agers coming in with the truth, huh?
all right. So the child resting in the mother's womb can't
Likened
Can't
unto the
see-
simulation Earth.
can't see the mother, right? Probably can hear some stuff though. They're both present but cannot see each other. We are all in the womb of that infinite truth. Yeah, it's a deep one. I don't know how much I can say on that one right now.
What? It's a parable for the simulation, bro. What are you talking about? Right? We can't, when you're in your mother's womb, right, you can't see her, she can't see you. But that's the creator of you at that moment. The mom brought you into being and your dad helped, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's liken it unto we are in the womb. So the simulation, the word matrix, is what was likened unto the realm in the scriptures. And it was also a key word for the word womb. So we are in the type of a womb. We're going through, we're not just in Eden. We're not just fallen to the earth realm. We're in a womb, a matrix. This is what the word was brought in for, right? And it's, you know, the existence is what is infinite, right? It's outside of time. Yahawah. So it's his womb, his truth, his place. He built it, right? So I like this one. This one here is just an easy one. It says dancing is an active meditation. Did you know that, Jay?
Hadn't thought of it in that sense, but yeah, I can see it real quickly. That yeah, people, the rhythm that you dance to and the sweat that you can work up from dancing,
Yeah.
it comes from focus and paying attention and movement. So yeah, that is a meditation.
Totally. When we dance, we go beyond thought, beyond mind, and beyond our individuality to become one in the divine ecstasy of the union with the cosmic, or you could say whatever, flow of life, right? So I like to dance. I dance all the time. Just do a little twist or here or there. Just my soul likes to move. It is very meditative, very fulfilling. For me.
I'm just always worried about looking cool, right? So I'm not trying to be one with the divine. I just want to look cool.
You're funny. So this one says, after the fall of the Roman Empire, technology to make concrete was what? They lost it. We've been talking about the pyramids are concrete, right? Forming. The Romans made concrete by mixing what? Lime and volcanic rock, Jason. To form mortar. Seawater triggered a chemical reaction, and the resulting calcium aluminum silicate hydrate bond is exceptionally strong. Now I'm talking to a concrete guy. We discussed this at work today because I had forgotten. I wanted to see if Jason knew. So it was lime. You said lime. And then sand, right? Obviously the pyramids, they got a lot of sand there. So they would bring in volcanic rock, crush it up with the lime, and then use the seawater. That's how they did all that, right?
Yeah, I know. When the chloride, so when you add the salt to it, that does make it set and cure. Apparently, yeah, there's something in the volcanic rock. And this is the early mortar that was used by the Romans. So I do think that they, with the Portland cement that they have right now, they've probably improved on the recipe a little bit. But yeah, they were absolutely able to pour concrete back then.
Yeah, right. And all the wonders of the world. How were they able to do these crazy rock walls without joints or without mortar, right? Because they were formed. They were poured. And I got a poor guy on the team. We already showed you guys how all the pyramids and all that, the stones of Baalbek, the big ones that the giants were going to move, they were just formed out stones. This one says, there are no accidents or what? The word of the day, coincidences in the realm. Nothing is by chance. Everything you experience is a direct manifestation of where you are focusing your energy, attention, and consciousness. Jason?
I work very hard to keep my mind focused in only the places that I want things to render. So if it's something I don't want, I don't spend any time with it. I'll identify it and I'll figure out how to steer clear of that as best as I can. So keeping my attention always on the positive things that I would like to manifest.
I knew you'd like this, babe. I knew there was a couple that were going to come on. So this is something that Jason and I are constantly talking about. We call it our processors. Go figure, our minds. And what you run it on manifests. And so we're constantly looking at that. And that's why I do what I do. I think that was a great meme. Ooh, we got a good one here. I don't know if you can see this, Jason. Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Yeah, it's a tiny hat-ism is communism, internationalism, the universal brotherhood of man, the emancipation of the working class, and the human society. It is with these spiritual weapons that the little hats, the Eskimos, will conquer the world and the human race. Rabbi Harry Wanton, 1939.
Wow. So he was already telling everybody this is this. Right? Jayism is communism. We're not going to stop saying it. I know the tiny hats don't like it, or Eskimo people. But again, if you go somewhere and everybody is an Eskimo and you can't buy anything unless you go talk to the Eskimo, hey, we got a problem. That's monopoly. That's not just. We're going to keep going here. Cultural emism. I remember we told you guys a few weeks ago, anything with the ism behind it, toss it the F out. Part of my language, cover the kids' ears. This is what it does. It destroys the family, destroys kids, destroys private property, destroys good, wholesome religions, which we don't agree with too much. I know I try to make it sound good. There's good in people that go to church. There are good ones too, just like there's good people that wear the bigger hats and the tiny hats. And they ultimately what? Destroy your nation. That's what this is. The sickle and the hammer from the iPad goat, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's communism. So it's just a version of it. And it's all designed to destroy. Destroy. It exploits the poor and makes them think that somehow they're being benefited by the state. And through that, they take control of everything. So the idea that we live in some sort of capitalist society or something like that, absolutely pure nonsense. We're in a technocracy that's shifting to pure Marxism, pure communism.
Pure. That's what they want. It's not that. It's actually, we just showed you this. 7 no-hide laws. Don't be fooled anymore. Let's run through a quick few. We still got a bunch to get through. I don't know if you can see the timeline, but we're getting there. It says only eat fruit with seeds in it. Let's start working harder on that, guys. If you're eating fruit that's seedless, it's been genetically modified. This one here says 6 vegetables that are the same plant. This one here is dear to my heart. It says over hundreds of years, farmers have been breeding one plant called Brassica oleracea. I don't know if I said that right. Into dozens of different varieties. These 6 vegetables you can find in the grocery store are actually all the same plant. And guess what they are? The wild mustard plant.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right? You know the parable of the mustard seed.
Yeah.
You got Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. How do you read this one? Kohlrabi?
Kohlrabi?
Kale, cabbage, right? Isn't that cool? Let's keep going. I just thought it was cool because it's the mustard. This one says burning bay leaves at home helps relieve anxiety, reduce inflammation, boost immune system, increases alertness, opens the respiratory system, and increases mindfulness. I know YD. I think you used to do stuff like this. Sometimes you do cinnamon. Sometimes, yeah, you need the frankincense, myrrh, and cinnamon, obviously. But you can also put bay leaves in that too. It smells nice. Jason, you like the smell of it, right? And you can put it in your pasta sauce, right?
Yeah,
Mom,
absolutely.
Or YD. That's taken away now. People don't use it anymore, but my grandparents did.
Yeah, I remember sauces that had the bay leaves. So every once in a while, you'd find one in it still.
You eat it. It's like, oh, it was hard. It didn't go well. But it's healthy.
Nope.
They do more than this. But I just wanted to quickly touch on that. This one says censorship is the tool used when the lie loses its power. Remember, we talked earlier that the truth is a roaring lion. Right? As soon as you get censored, it's because you spoke the truth and their lie just lost all its power. Look at this one, Jay. Here we go. This is Remfram Star. Dragging the Ukraine, dragging this theater of war, right? Let's get in a couple more and then we'll go to another song. Here's another good one. I actually like this pose. Now, people have come at me and said that stretching is satanic. Are you guys effing kidding me? Pardon the language. Stretching is not satanic. Everything is done through intention and the way that you treat other people. We're going to continue to go over that. We've had problems lately with people thinking that we're some kind of new agers. No, we're truthers. The truth, right? That's what we care about. It doesn't matter who says it. This one says, ego says, once everything falls into place, I'll find peace. Spirit says, find peace and everything will fall into place. So work on finding peace. This is something that I do. I know Jason does it. I take away your peace. I troll you sometimes. You know, people troll me too, but I try to find peace. I try not to try. I try to be a strong member of the team, but I try to find peace. What do you think?
Yeah, and the whole stretching thing. So it doesn't have to be a yoga, right? It doesn't have to be a yoga. You can just stretch. And there's it's not a yoga. You're allowed to stretch. The yoga people have not co-opted stretching to the point that you're not allowed to stretch, right? You're allowed to stretch.
Yes, you can do yoga. You can meditate. You can hum. You can stretch. You can do all that as long as you're not thinking like, "Hey, I want to take over the earth and like make everybody's carbon footprint zero."
You worship Satan at the same time, right? Like,
this is a big one. This is a big one. This one says Judeo-Christian. What? The greatest oxymoron of all time. It says Christians believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that he died for our sins and was resurrected. So it should say Christians believe that Yahawahashai is the son of Yahawah and that he, yes, died for our sins and then he was resurrected. So here's what Judaism thinks. So if you want to look at the Judeo side, they believe that they're the ones who actually demanded, hey, you have to crucify him. We can't do it because of our customs. You got to do it. They demanded it. The Jewish Talmud actually teaches, you can go check it out, Maimonides, right? You can go check it out. He says that Jesus was the bastard child of a Roman soldier and his mom was a prostitute and that he is in hell boiling in his own excrement and that killing Christians isn't a crime. So that's what Judaism, Maimonides, there's many characters on the world scene. Anybody that's a Zionist, anyone that proclaims Judaism, right? Most of the people, they push the 7 Noahide laws and you got to be following the 613 mitzvahs and the commandments, right? And they're doing away with Christ's salvation, right? And this is what they truly believe, people, but they hide it from you. Jason, what say you on this one?
Well, what I say is that anybody that refers to themselves as a Judeo-Christian or referring to other Judeo-Christians is a Satanist, right? Because they're part of the Judeo crowd, right? It's always, you think of the YouTube personalities, you've got Nick Vanderlane, you've got Leland Jones, you've got who's Israeli News. Parable of the
Stephen Benoon, Israeli News Live.
Yeah, so another person that refers to Judeo-Christians is Rick Wiles. So in each one of these cases, it's the Judeo part. That's what they are, and that's the part that demanded the crucifixion and thinks that Christ is burning in hell in excrement. So they just tack on the Christian like somehow they're connected together. But yeah, like the meme says, it's the greatest oxymoron of all time. They're the most opposed to each other possible.
Really. And the sad thing is, brother, is that it's been hidden, but you could go and read their books and find it, right? You could see the Maimonides quote of him saying this. So I think you should take the screen share. It's about that time we get into another track. This one's a different kind of sound too. And the last song is super powerful. What an emotional song. And I mean, we only had an hour to go through these. We just found them. They're all brand new. This one here is called, let me look it up. I got it right here, I think. Therapy, right? Provided by, was this Jack's Tone? And I'll put that in the description, in the chat box right now. But yeah, man, this is a great song.
Let's go.
Anytime you see this ain't working out for me, I need therapy. I am what I am, and that is all that I am. I've been trying oh so hard to be someone I'm not. Try to make it right, but all I do is fuck up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was different, right?
Yeah.
Different kind of track. Like we're trying to bring you guys different kinds of music. It had a role like Postal Service, right? I thought.
Yeah. Not quite sure. The Battery 79 caught on to your no look hammering in the rafters.
Got it?
Yeah.
Wow. Bonus points. You got to give me the screen share, bro. Yeah, bonus points to Seth. Yeah, it was a different kind of track. I liked it. Like it. Let's get into this one.
I don't know if anybody caught the missing fingers. The missing. Yeah.
I didn't see it. My hand?
My hand.
Oh. This one says, be yourself and don't worry if someone doesn't like you. Most people are actually struggling to like themselves. What do you think, Jay? True, right?
Yeah. Most people are struggling to like themselves. It's sad but true. It seems to be everybody's number one enemy is their self. And they beat themselves up to the point that they're a wreck. So instead of disliking yourself, figure out how to like yourself, right? So you don't have to attack yourself.
Flip the tables. Love yourself is the answer I was looking for 5,000 kingdom points. Nah, your answer was great, brother. I liked it. This next one here, boom. It says, you are the carbon they want to reduce. Right? Bill Gates is talking about you. Right? And this plane is fake.
Wasn't it like inflatable?
Yeah, it was blown up. Thanks, NASA, your balloon plane. Yeah, I just thought that was funny for old time's sake. This one here says, if you believe in the science of wearing masks, but not the science of life beginning at conception, then you don't believe in science, you believe in a political ideology.
And they've taken it all the way up to the extreme now. So even Biden's taken it all the way up to the time of birth. All the way up to the time of birth. So
crazy world.
Crazy world.
Yeah, what can you do? We can fight back. This one says, won't you wake up? Jason, you want to listen to this one? It says peace and security in the Middle East. 1 Thessalonians 5:2-3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. We got this all going on. They're still taking place. We've heard what was the one this week? The World Economic Forum made a covenant with like 190 countries, right?
Yeah, the WHO.
The WHO, thank you.
The WHO is supposed to make a covenant with all these nations where everybody's going to be under the rule of the WHO for all these pandemics.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And they're moving forward with it. This one's kind of funny. Adult content. This here, the shadow is the side of your personality that contains all the parts of yourself that you won't admit to having, and he is that. I don't have to say it. This one here is interesting. It says, unlearning all the false information we have been programmed with takes time and patience, but you guys, you got this. Jason?
Yeah. So if you think of a computer, right? If you've got a hard drive that's just chock full, say you've got a 6 terabyte hard drive sitting there and you've just got this thing loaded and you find out that everything on that hard drive is corrupt. It's wrong. You can't use that information anymore. Deleting it all, it takes a little bit of time, right? But you hit the delete. The thing is reprogramming it with uncorrupt information that's true and accurate. It takes time to reacquire all that. So the unlearning can be done quickly. The relearning takes a little bit of time. And that's the reason why so many people refuse to do the unlearning of everything. They just, they don't want to reinvest the time to build it back accurate.
Yeah. They, flood their minds with nonsensical content that doesn't empower them.
Vain imaginations, the scriptures calls it, right?
Yeah, well said, brother. This one says, you think it, you feel it, you believe it. Guess what? You create it. This is a pretty one. I like the way that's written. What do you think? Shining on like the sun in the sky, huh?
Yeah. It's I don't know if we have the power quite yet to build a sun like that, but as far as other things, if you think it, you feel it, you believe it, you create it. so much of that is true. You look at artwork, you look at music, you look at construction projects, you look at all the different things. If you put your mind to it and think it and really feel the whole thing, believe in it, yeah, you're going to be able to make it. You're going to be able to create it.
That's how we manifest it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I should be able to fly soon. Guess what? We got that star Rembrandt again in the Nazi symbol. We'll get back to that. Don't you worry. This one says the ego seeks to divide and separate, but the spirit seeks to unify and heal, right?
Yeah, the
You
ego.
obviously agree.
The ego is a really hard thing for people to even wrap their heads around until they've actually put some time and effort into trying to defeat it. Because the person that hasn't put the time and work in to start trying to defeat it doesn't even know what part of them is the ego that's acting and responding. So it's it is like a false perceived personality or essence of yourself. It's a bad reflection. It's not true and accurate. And so when we were talking about earlier in the memes, how you hear these different voices in your head they come unbidden. It's like a thought, like all your other thoughts, but you didn't think it into existence. You weren't trying to gather that thought. It just came in there. And so the ego picks and chooses from all those things that come into a person's minds, and it creates a new narrative where it makes you the hero or you the victim. And so
You're angry. You're upset.
Yeah, the separation is really this self-identification with a false narrative or personality of yourself. So when it says the
Your
spirit
shadow
seeks
self,
to
you just
unify and
referenced.
heal, that is to actually to separate off the ego. To like you cut it off. You cut these different layers off, and then you see what's underneath and the real you. And when you start seeing that is when the healing will begin.
True. Let's keep going. It says, make it a good spin, Billy. I don't know if you guys can see. It's Fauci with the sickle. He doesn't get to hold that. This is blasphemous. But I mean, I can't really read these out on the screen, or we'll get this taken down. This next one says, I lost the ball, but it's all good. Come on, puppy. He's happy, huh? Is that a
Happy
Great
puppy.
Dane? Could be a Great Dane. Maybe not. I grew up with one. I miss him. But again, he's in my spirit, like that dragonfly reminder. This one says, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. That's Ezekiel 36:26. And I have a very tender heart, and I am thankful to the Creator that he gave it to me, right? Because I'm not stony. And it's to my own detriment too, I'll tell you that much, but I will never change being who I am.
No,
Did you want to comment? Silence.
Yeah, well, stony heart. So I'm looking forward to. So I've left a bit of a stony heart, just because of what we're doing, right? Because we're fighting disinformation, misinformation. We're fighting Satanists online, and so I do have a bit of a shell that I've created for around my heart. So I look forward to that being taken away. So once the battle's over, once wickedness is destroyed and it's only the righteous people left, I want that shell just absolutely gone, and to be just as exposed and as you are, right?
I know, brother. But like Jason said, there's a attribute scales. You can only choose so many things. If your job is to do what your job is, you have to sacrifice that too. And you don't have a stony heart, brother. I'm going to continue. I'm sorry. A wise man was asked, what is anger? And he gave the most beautiful answer. He said, it is a punishment we give ourselves for somebody else's mistake. How about that?
Nah, that's beautiful. Anger. Punishment we give ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Yeah, and then somehow we take it as a slight, right? That's usually where the anger comes in. Somehow you were slighted. You got gypped, you got slighted, you got, what are all the other terms?
Hurt, let down.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it becomes anger. And the thing I recommend is you set an alarm bell within your mind. Once you're starting to get control of your mind and see what's going on, and you see these thoughts come in, you can have an alarm bell that goes off as soon as your blood pressure rises and you start to want to turn around and retaliate in a mean way. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that it's got me so upset that I want to be mean now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and control it.
Yeah. So somebody
right?
somebody else's mistake. It could be your mistake too, actually. So
Sure.
a whole bunch of reasons, but there's no reason to beat yourself up and beat somebody else up over all these things. So usually if a person takes the time to settle it down and talk about what is the source of this anger, somehow it's going to end up being dispelled. Usually, sometimes no, it escalates even at that point, but
sure. This one's interesting. It says, a real man never hurts a woman. Be very careful when you make a woman cry, because Yahawah counts her tears. So the woman came out of a man's rib, not from his feet to be walked on, and not from his head to be superior, but from his side to be what? Equal. Under the arm to be what? Protected, and next to the heart to be loved. So if you're a man out there and you have a woman in your life, remember this. Don't make her cry. Okay? Unless they're happy tears. Happy tears are okay. Those are absolutely okay. Did you want to comment on this one? It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, but the description of the reason why a woman came from the rib right there, that's a profound thing to consider, everyone.
Yeah, as well as, where Christ was pierced, right? In the rib. But we won't get into too many things right now. It says fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Which one are you going with?
No fear.
Rhetorical, right?
No fear. No fear.
No fear. I'll keep going here. This one's interesting. It says the easiest way to gain control of a population is to carry out acts of terror. The public will clamor for such laws if their personal security is threatened. Right? This is what we're going through. Does this ring any bells with the whole Cerveza thing? When the whole population is threatened, they will give up their securities. Right?
Yeah, and there's going to be another event coming, everybody, that is going to make everybody want to have digital currency and have a one world B system, right? They're going to want a one world government, and
you got to have the computer number to buy and sell. Everything is tracked and taxed, right?
It's what everybody's going to want.
All said, and they're trying to do it through threatening people. You're going to get the cerveza. Right? You lived your whole life. I've been 42 years almost. I never died of the flu. Now, I've been really sick before. I've taken some bad stuff, but I'll continue here. This one is very important. Okay. Like I said, these meme rollers, these memes of the week, this is about truth. This is something that needs to be documented. It says here, meet the Eskimo who created the word Nazi. The term Nazi, along with Nazism, is a political epithet. Is that how I say that word right? I think I made some reading mistakes. Why don't you read this one, Jason? I fumbled it. I could do it and maybe do better. Is that the right way to pronounce that word, epithet?
Epithet, I think so.
Invented by Conrad Hilden. Do you want to read it? I can. During the 1920s as a means of what? Degenerating Hitler. And
denigrating.
Denigrating. Thank you. You read it. You'll do better.
The NSDAP and National Socialism. Hayden was a journalist and member of the Social Democratic Party. The term Nazi is a variation of the nickname that was used in reference to members of Hayden's STP at the time. SOZI, short for Socialisten Nazi was a political pun based upon the Austro-Bavarian slang word for simpleton or country bumpkin, and derived from the fairly common name Ignatz. It would be like saying, was it rusty? Nutsy. So, if for no other reason, one should easily understand why the term was regarded as derogatory by the National Socialists and why they would never use it to describe themselves.
You understand? So I read this one in the morning show. If you guys want, this is just a small slice of what we do throughout the week, early in the morning. So I read this one. So the Eskimo people came up with the term. It was a pejorative. So again, a divisionary tactic. Once they divide, they control, right? They made up two different people. It's these people against these people. You can use any name you want, and then they labeled them, and that's another divisional tactic. You label things. No, you're white, you're black. No, we're humans. As soon as you get labeled, you get separated into communism, or what do they call this? Socialisten. Right? We got other words. They just short formed it to SOZI. And socialist, communist, Eskimoism. Right? We'll keep going. I think that one's pretty good, though. While you worry about who spends 4 to 8 years here, people are always trying to vote and clamor. Yeah, let's get a part of this. Corrupt politicians like Biden, he's been there forever, like 40 years, right? Pelosi and Fauci, they all there. They never leave. Rothschild says, I own them all. You don't even know my name. Nah, I know your name. You're an absolute. I want to curse right now, but you know what? I love my enemy. Jason, what do you think of Jacob?
He's going to pay. World's richest man is going to pay deeply.
It's not Elon Musk. It's not Elonald.
No.
Come on, Elani.
That's such a joke that they call Elon the world's richest man.
I know. It's crazy. But this son of a gun is. Keep going. There's more on him. Says, my name is Jacob Rothschild, and I'm the richest, most powerful man in the world, but you probably don't know anything about me. Now we do, but most people don't. I create your currency. I fund both sides of every war. I poison your food. I fill your with these. I dumb down your children and manufacture dissent, social unrest, division. I create social unrest and promote racial eugenics. I actively work to destroy American sovereignty. The truth is that I should be thrown into the lake of Gehenna, but I also control the media, so my crimes have never been exposed or brought out into the public. You want to do something about it? You know, stand up and speak out against this cuck, this joke of a man. Come sit down with us. That's what I say. Let's meet Jacob. He's still alive, right? I wonder how he's doing today. Wonder what Mr. Rothschild is up to. I would love to sit down and explain to him some changes that could be made.
Yeah, we'll have a talk about usury.
I mean, we can get more specific about certain things. I know your displeasure for usury. This one here says, don't get too excited about the Donald Trumper. He is nothing more than another Zionist puppet like every other candidate that works in the government. He supports apartheid Israel and its terrorist war criminal, this guy. Trump eagerly points out that he was the Grand Marshal of New York City's annual Salute to Israel parade. Now they celebrated the Israel parade. It was last time, I don't know, 2004. Trump's daughter, Ivanka, she's now into the Eskimoism. And in 2009, in her observance of Shabbat, and with her husband, this guy, right, a well-known real estate developer, as well as the owner and publisher of they own the media, they own the politicians, right? And you know, they don't just look like this character in the back. I'm going to call it out. That is racist. If you just want to think they look like that, they look like every kind of person out there. Everyone works for them.
Even like Trump, the Grand Marshal. So what a Freemasonic title. Everybody, he's a Freemason. He admitted he's a Freemason. He's probably the top Freemason in the West. The top. If not the whole world.
Yeah, he's one of them. He does it. Right? So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. This one here says transgender. Another one of these isms, guys. Like, we could just easy rule in the kingdom, no isms allowed. It's the Illuminati's way of mocking the creator. It says, by engaging in transgenderism and transhumanism, Azazel wants to make a mockery of Yahweh's glorious creation. We were given the highest, like, people. Azazel wants to be Yahawah. and wants to be equal with the creator or even better. How does one do so? Well, you take one of the most wonderful things created and you try to distort it and ruin it. And that's what they do to destroy the culture as they promote the 7 Noahide laws and all the other nonsense.
Well, and it also fits into depopulation pretty well because obviously in their whole sexual scheme of things, nobody's reproducing. The only thing that they're against is a male and female being together, right?
Yeah, and that's even a problem now, especially with most of the population that went and did what they've done in the last 2 years. Now, YD says Kushner owns 666 Madison Avenue. I believe he sold it and took a huge hit, but I could be wrong. Let's go on to this next one. It says, to make it big in entertainment, you have to what? Sell your soul to the Azazel people. They don't just go by one name. This name isn't even a real name. John Lennon came to understand this fact. I've sold my soul to the devil, said John Lennon. And the Eskimo elite raises and recruits useful operatives, including musicians, to play particular roles in advancing their one world government agenda. To become uber famous, these people must engage in initiation rituals and swear obedience under the pain of death. Right? We know, we've even seen the Masons alone do it. Just imagine what you have to do to become super famous, like the Beatles. So it goes on to state that they operate in a code of silence, and if you break ranks, even a hint in the public about it, they kill you or your family, right? That's why no one ever comes out and exposes these people. And if you do, you get censored and taken down. But we're going to show it, right? You were talking about this earlier, Jason, how you get famous, right?
Yeah, and it's all death oaths that people have to take. So you sell your soul, and yeah, now you're on the hook. If you do anything to break the rules,
you can repent.
Yeah, if you do anything to break the rules, that organization's going to kill you. But we keep on pointing out from the scriptures that you can repent. And so, yeah, maybe that organization that you sold your soul to is going to kill you, but that's actually a good thing for you because this body you can let go. It's not the eternal soul. So it's your eternal life that's important. So if you did make one of those, you swore an oath to one of these societies, yeah, go ahead and break it and be willing to lose your life. And then, yeah, you'll actually end up with a crown in heaven for doing so.
Yes, everlasting life with a crown. Well said. We're getting close. This is great timing. I can't believe how all this worked out. Patience is power. Patience is not an absence of action. Rather, it is timing. It waits on the right time to act for the right principles and in the right way. Isn't that a nice thing?
Yeah, patience is power. And the whole timing aspect of it. So the more you can slow yourself down to not immediately react to things, to you hear it, you think it through, you come up with sort of an idea of how you want to react, and then you wait, and there's the timing on when you act and when you say something, do something, that kind of stuff. So it's waiting for the right time, that patience. It takes time. It takes effort to wait for that.
And anyone that fosters this in your life is someone you want to keep around, in my opinion. It says, if your lover and your healer are two different people, then you must reevaluate your relationship. This is to anybody that's in relationships. Strive to also love and heal each other. That should be a goal. It's pretty self-explanatory, right, Jay? This next one's funny. It says, haters will see you walk on water and say, it's because you can't swim.
Oh, you got to love the haters, right? They'll come up with any means to be a hater. Good old haters.
He rebuked the storm because he gets seasick. He's a bitch, right?
Yeah. He can't swim, so he walked on the water.
This one says, be strong. You never know who you are inspiring. Always, right? I totally agree with this. Now we have 5 minutes left and we have a song to lead out. We had a bunch left. What is this one? Life is all about karma. It always gives you back what you give to others. And sometimes you have to wait on divine timing. Okay. But it says there's no need for revenge. Those who hurt you will eventually screw themselves up. And if you're lucky, you can watch it. Right? So, okay, I want to end cap this one and say that, you know what? Rather switch it. Those that harm you, pray that they actually figure it out and start to lead better lives and not do it to other people. And that should be more of a goal than seeing them screw up their life, right? Because sometimes the ones we love the most are the ones that hurt us the most, right? Wives, moms, daughters, cousins, uncles, right? And, you know, I just hope that we can work together to not try to look for revenge. It's important. But karma is the last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to give it to you for your closing comments. I'd rather flip the tables on karma too. How much can you love somebody or someone else without anything in return, where everything is completely kept in the kingdom? How much can you love people and get good karma? It works both ways. All we ever do is talk about the negative side of karma. Always, it breaks my heart. I'm like, "Rrr." Jason, it just gets me going. I get triggered. Let's talk about the good side of karma, right? Guys, focus on those things in your life. Please enjoy this weekend. Focus on the things that you did all winter, the things that you worked on, how improved you are, right? How thankful I am for this team. Everything that we did in the last 15 weeks, we fought together, you guys. All of you in the chat, all of you lurkers, everyone that listens in the future. From my absolute heart, I salute all of you, and I thank you, everyone on the team, especially the ones who were silent. I thank you, Jason, YD, everyone in the chat, everybody on Reality Check, everybody on Telegram. You guys are all so amazing. This has been such a fun ride, and we're going to keep it going. We're not stopping. We're going to make new memories, right, bro? So yeah, let's focus on good karma this weekend. Let's have a good time. Let's let the sun shine, right? Wherever you are, dance a little bit, put on some great music. The end track is phenomenal. But Jason, what do you have to say? Your closing remarks on everything that I just said tonight.
Yeah, so the karma, it's got that Eastern religion mysticism. You know, a lot of Christians will steer away from the word karma. If you can see that karma is just referring to justice, now all of a sudden, if you replace the word karma with justice and then you look at the scriptures, you'll see that justice is very key, very important. Throughout the scriptures, that everything is being kept track of for the good and for the bad, and that what it is it's a record. So those people that have been screwing you over and being evil to you, there's a record of all that, and they will serve the penalties for their behaviors. Now the people that are putting out good, the people that are putting out the love, the benevolence, the helping hand, trying to uplift people, all that kind of stuff, all that's being measured as well, and that works towards kingdom coin. So we're gonna keep explaining to people from the scriptures how kingdom coin is acquired, and yeah, you've got a plus or minus in your account, and it has to do with whether or not you're being good or evil, and it is all tracked. So it's important to keep track of that stat right there.
Yeah.
More important than your bank account or anything else like that, how much gas you have in the tank. You want to know where you stand on your kingdom coin account.
It's like your soul's account. Your everlasting soul has a bank account, Jason said. And we talk about it being kingdom coin. Maybe we'll bring some free guy clips and stuff. If we have got more time to prepare, we'll get some sound effects and some other things so we can keep trying to bang home this. Just love one another and do it for nothing else other than to do it. And you might get challenged. You might be like, oh, I want this. I want that. No, just fight your ego and just keep on doing what you guys can do. Like I said, this has been an amazing 16 weeks. I'm thankful that I got to witness all of it. And I'm humble tonight. I had a great week. I feel great. And I hope all of you have a really wonderful weekend. Let go of all the negativity. Breathe that out. Inhale healing and peace and calmness and whatever you want. Fire your soul up. Are we going to be live on Sunday, bro?
That is the plan.
Talk about this 1335 in the book of Nephi again, right?
Yeah, well, and really focusing in on the upcoming second Passover. So even when we did first Passover, we were telling people that, second Passover is it's likely going to be the time period where a lot of people missed first Passover, maybe second Passover. Something will have happened in the world where some people will wake up and all of a sudden, start participating. So,
yes, I'd like that. That's what we're trying for.
Yeah, that and the Great Tribulation. We got to get that thing started to get it over with. So hopefully soon.
With you.
Well, that's great memes of the week, brother. Can't believe that we're already at 16. It seems to have gone so fast. But here we are. Love it. So thank you, everybody that joined. Where's the only place anybody's going to hear any of this, brother?
Only on the Yahawahashai News Network.
Lately, my heart's a mess. I've tried my best to stop my life from fading into